fuck is this?
Test. Test. Do we have liftoff? Houston. Any of you called Houston? Could be a good first name. I feel like I'm a bit low down. Let me try and raise this up. Gotta get higher and higher. No, my thing is stuck. Should have done that off stream. But anyway. We have liftoff, somebody says. Let me go through the comments, see who's here. Let me see if this is working too. That pop up on the screen? Yes, it does. Daniel. Welcome, Mr. Daniel says, sup, you bums. Smash the thumb, or who knows what will happen. Once again, reminding you all that Donnie has a criminal record. He has acted on these threats in the past. So you better do what he says, basically. 5XL is here. How you doing, 5XL? It's been a while since we've had Mr. 5XL in a touch and tip. Well, it's been a while since I do touch and tips in general, so that explains that. But you're welcome back. I hope you're keeping well. Tradition up here saying, what up, Game Slugs? Is that what we are? Game Slugs? This is how we're competing with the cats. I think it's fitting. I think we're a slimy, moist kind of a group. Hope you're all staying moist, of course. How could we not be? We're actually probably in danger of being too moist now. And I've always said there's no such thing. But today it was something else. It was something else today. There's so much to talk about. You can see in the description the topics I've got. So if you can see something I've left out, then let me know in the chat. But I think I've got like 9 different topics, and then there's subtopics within each one. It's ridiculous. Decepticon out here with the and we've got a donation coming in live.
Races of intelligent creatures.
Need to get rid of that reptile notification.
Worlds or parallel dimensions.
GC13 underscore the Diet Pepsi Cat has just donated 10 through Super Chat.
10.
Incredibly moist. Love the new format and news intro.
Thanks you so much.
PP.
Thank you so much. Tiffany, as they call her on the streets. That's her street name for the generous $10 dues. Man, exciting. How exciting. Again, Tiffany, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Dead-Eye Dan is here. Straight out of the trucks and onto the YouTubes. Decepticon himself over here thanking someone of Tradition for a donation. Hold on a sec, Decepticon. You gotta cut me in on some of that, you know? You're my bottom bitch, but I'm gonna need my cut. Papa Pumpkins don't play around with that. Fozzie Bear, hello everyone. Fozzie, how you doing? Tradition saying all good, thank you very much. Fungal, yeah, the thumbnail. I spent like 5 minutes, not a long time, making a thumbnail for this, and then I was like, where did I save this to? I couldn't remember what file I put it in, and well, here we are. And you've got that kind of weird thumbnail that I've got there now, but whatever, big deal. Rogue is here saying, sure, blame the thumbnail. The classic Rogue. Classic Rogue. Mr. Jackpot is here. Interesting to see the reptilians crawling out from under the rock. I thought they'd be hiding. I thought they'd be scared for their lives right now with the PSVR2 about to drop and about to just blast them into the ozone layer. Now, only thing PSVR2 needs is that Phasma. I'm just after saying that to Tradition in the Discord, which you can join in the description below, by the way. If you're interested in joining the Pumpkin Patch Discord, you can do so. Where I was telling the Tradition, all I want is Phasmophobia and Blade and Sorcery. From ye, from the Questicles. That's what I want to take from them, even though it's a PC VR game, but whatever. But we won't say no to anything. And Population 1... Oh god, I skipped down big time. It jumped on me. And Population 1 is a game, yeah, I could go for Population 1, but if a Call of Duty Warzone came, you know, I'd take that any day of the week probably, and we wouldn't be talking about Population 1 ever again. Someone missed that lizard down. I'd say he's dry. I'd say he's dry right now. He needs a calcium tablet big time. 5XL, sorry, I'm struggling to breathe with how excited I am. I'm sure it's the same story for all of you. Wasn't Sony supposed to start charging for pre-orders today? I know there's been emails going out. It seems to be like a wave thing with them. They don't do everything together. So some people are getting their pre-orders or charging for their pre-orders today. Other people are still waiting. Been a while since we had a chicken soup reference. It has been a while. Booyakisha is here. week to go. 1 week is right. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I know it won't happen, but I've convinced myself that I'm going to get it a day early because GameStop are sending them out on the Monday, allegedly. And I'm thinking, well, you know, Ireland's a small country. Well, how long is it going to take them to get from Galway or Dublin or whatever to my house? Not going to take 2 days, you know, right? However, then I remembered how inefficiently ran this country is. And then I was like, oh yeah, I might not get it at all next week for all I know. And of course, once again, the generosity from Tiff on screen for everyone to see. Thank you once again for that. Slimes in the pumpkin patch. They probably would find a lot of slugs in the pumpkin patch, actually. I've never been to a pumpkin patch in real life. I don't think we have them in Ireland. Do we? I don't know. I've never seen one. Fozzie Bear says, I'm here in East Palestine, melting in the acid rain. Is that really where you're from? I've seen some weird stuff going on there. Some kind of like a mushroom cloud. Just killing Ohioans or whatever you call yourselves. Did he just call me a streetwalker? Listen, if you're out in the streets and you walk, technically we're all streetwalkers. We've all walked in a street before. I'm just saying you've got a street name, you know. You're a bit of a, you know, a thug. Got a reputation. Bit of a gangster. Zach Wilder, of course my thing jumps down. Why does it do that? Don't do that. He says, let's go. Where do you want to go, Zach? You're driving. I'll go. Take the wheel in Gran Turismo 7 and take me wherever you want. Zach, I'll be yours. The Land of Diet, says Donnie. I feel like there should be a word after that. But I don't get it, Donnie. I'm sorry. Brain too smooth. It's like a bar of soap. I'm trying to pick it up in the shower. It's just slipping everywhere. I can't get a grasp on that one. Where is Peter, speaking of lizards? I get the feeling he's not able to do the late night stuff anymore. I think he said something many moons ago about, you know, his hour is changing or something like that. So we don't get to see much of him live anymore, unfortunately. What's your first game going to be? Asked Zach Wilder. My first game is going to be Horizon Call of the Mountain. My second game is going to be Resident Evil 8. My third game is going to be Pavlov VR. And my fourth game is going to be Gran Turismo 7. And that reminds me of an extra topic. I'm going to add that in now, actually, because I will forget. Actually, let's make sure that's the first topic, because I will forget. It's about the battery life on the controllers, which can rearrange the order. That's what I want. But well, let's just talk about it now, shall we? This is from PSVR Without Parole. Listen to their live, it was a Gamescast. Not today's one, they did one just a couple hours ago. But there was one earlier during the week. And they were talking about how Brian has two separate sources who told him that the DualSense controllers last for approximately 4 hours. Which is not a long time. I've done Firewall streams for like 6 hours. I've done Werewolves Within streams for longer than that, you know. So 4 hours isn't going to cut the cheese really for a long session like that. Unless you get like extra set of controllers. Or in this instance, we've got Gran Turismo 7 that we can play. So we can use the DualSense controller while we're charging the Sense controller. Man, it's really confusing getting all the names together. Because I want to say DualSense for the two senses. It's just, you know. Although I get it, whatever. We'll get back to that in a sec. I want to finish saying hello to everyone. No retailers did pre-order where I am. That's weird how that they still haven't done it. I thought they would have opened up, you know, much sooner. But it sounds like there's plenty of stock. It sounds like you can go into a retailer on the morning and just like walk out with a PSVR2. I think a Canadian Walmart has already received them. There's people already bringing them home. They're out in the wild. Got to update those posters on the wall behind you. Exactly. Other than the DualSense... Hold on a sec, I can't even see myself right now. Where am I pointing? Over there you can see the poster for the DualSenses. That can stay. But the Firewall one needs to be updated to Ultra. Resident Evil 7 is going to be updated to Ace. And Decepticon's got to be updated to Screaming Earth instead of Virtual Realities. Although it's kind of nice to keep them there as like a museum type situation, because you can see the PSVR headset back there as well, and the aim controller, and Karen's cage from the good old days. So maybe we'll keep it like that for a while. 5XL says, might end up keeping playing with my controllers plugged in when they're about to die. You'd want some really long cables, because you will rip. You'll just rip whatever it's plugged into. You'll just pull. Jason Voorhees, Horizon just downloaded to my PS5, 46.3 gigabytes. That's one of my topics I wanted to talk about, but it's like really low down the list. We have Goss T speaking Cyrillic. Is that Cyrillic? Is that the form of language? Russian or something? And he says PlayStation 2, but he also says a bunch of words before that. Hello, T. Casanova 20 says hi from Canada, got mine pre-ordered and can't wait until Wednesday. Casanova 20, we're all in the same boat with you, I think. Obviously, not being from Canada, we're not in that boat, thankfully. But we're all looking forward to Wednesday, big time. Only joking about the Canada thing, mostly. I don't know you well enough to start making fun of your country yet. That's the thing. 5XL says, do like First Contact Entertainment did and erase the Decepticon reference. Damn. That would be a reference within a reference, in a way. Got VR Legs, how you doing? Says, keep adding on more pics to the background. Just cover my webcam feed with just pics and pics. Photog Prince says, do we know when the review embargo lifts? That's another topic I think I have, and I think it's tomorrow. I think all signs are pointing to tomorrow. There was a lot of talk that it could be today based on a leak, but I think we'll get to it. But yeah, I think tomorrow is the day. And he's speaking Russian. T, unfortunately, I cannot read Russian myself. So if you're able to type in English, I'll give my best attempt to speak it. Poof, just like that, exactly. Translate. I used Google. Are you saying you used Google to go from English to Russian? T is saying, I love PlayStation. I love VR PlayStation 2. T, you're one of us. Casanova 20 says, it's weird the official controller charger doesn't have a headset rest. It is, it's just one of those things that Sony sometimes frustratingly don't make the decisions you'd like them to make. Well, that's where the third party stuff comes in. If they did do what we wanted, then those third party things wouldn't exist, I suppose. But they want us to use the box that it comes in as a place to store your headset when you're not using it. And they're very proud of that. Did Decepticon just get roasted? It's a daily occurrence. It is a daily occurrence on the stream and in life, in his at home, when he's just with his mother at home. He's getting roasted. You better believe it. Geisen Google Translate, be like indeed. Thank you, Geisen, for the translation, by the way. And T speaking English, but translating it to Russian for reasons unknown. Could be a political statement. Let's try and keep the politics out of it. We're talking about PSVR2. Let's keep it clean. Hot dog. Hot dog, indeed. Alright, topic numero uno is... And let me see if I'll just pop it up. Hopefully it won't play music. Resident Evil 8's trailer. Now listen, I made a video about this. Let me bring it down like that a little bit. I already made a video about this in the channel, so I'm not going to do like a deep breakdown analysis again. I've already done that. However, there was a couple of things I missed in the analysis that I deeply regret. It damaged my reputation that I missed them. And we can talk about those. That's not what I wanted. Hold on a sec. Got sausage fingers over here. Okay, I mean, we can talk generally. I think if anyone is disappointed by this trailer, I don't know what else you could want. I don't know what else you could want. They've taken a game, a AAA game, and they've made it look like it was designed for virtual reality in the first place. The way they've integrated all these systems, the menus, the holsters on the body, the flashing mechanic. You can just strip off your jacket, put a flashlight on the inside of your jacket and a weapon or whatever. Store things like that. Reloading looks good, although there's questions about reloading. It looks like it might be at least partially automatic. The reload of the shotgun has me suspicious. He does put the hand up to the bottom of the shotgun and then it kind of very smoothly thumbs in the shells. So it looks like maybe that's automatic, the thumbing part. Maybe you just bring your hand up to it and then the rest is history, as they say. I don't know what you think of that. or if it matters too much. I mean, it's going to be a massive step up from Resident Evil 7, regardless. Another thing that I missed, or did I even talk about what I missed? The first thing that I missed, I should say, is that the hands, if you realize, or if you remember, Jesus, I can't talk, I'm sorry. If you can remember the first gameplay we've seen of Resident Evil 8 VR, which is like a generic B-roll that everyone got, it only showed 2 floating hands during actual gameplay. I think you did see other body parts when like cutscenes were kind of happening, when he was being dragged through the halls and stuff. You could see his legs and his hands and whatever. But here you're seeing the arm. Now, Rob Siski or someone on Twitter. I don't know if I'm saying his surname right. I'm probably not. It could be Kiski for all I know. But he was like, if you look closely, it's not actually the full arm. It's from the hand to the elbow, and then it's a cut off. And you can see when they're punching, you can see the cut off in the elbow. But obviously then there's a chest situation going on down there so that you can take things off your body. So I think for all intents and purposes, it probably will feel like a full body. Maybe you don't see the legs. Maybe. I don't know. But it's a significant improvement from just floating hands, especially when he's resting the gun on the hand with the flashlight. Another new thing, the flashlight. You can see, like, it just feels and looks more natural and really, really cool. Where am I? Hot dog, that's where I was. T says, what I put into translate is, I'm excited about PSVR2. Well, that's a message we can all get behind, no matter whose political beliefs or what languages we choose to use. It isn't a political statement, I just wanted to see your reaction. There you go, was it the reaction you wanted? What was the reaction you wanted? I'm curious about that. Donnie says the floaty hands, or lack thereof, exactly. Donnie knew what was going on. Mr. Jackpot says, so only 1 more hour of playtime compared to the Quest since the controllers died in 4. Since the controllers died in 4. What? You mean the Quest has 3 hours because that has 4? I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say. Probably spreading some misinformation because you're questical. Hazers be hating, says Decepticon, exactly. Casanova 20 says, I believe I bought Resident Evil 8 on sale a few days ago, waiting to play it in VR. Love the coat ability. And it's crazy, like the coat, you pull it out and you can see it's moving, like physics are being applied to the coat. So I said it in the video earlier on, but they did go above and beyond my expectations. It really blew me away with Resident Evil 8. And now I really want them to go back to Resident Evil 7 and add in all that shit to Resident Evil 7. Or, you know, as close as they can. Resident Evil 8, we be streaking, exactly, Donnie. He's a Dommy mommy. Decepticon says, lame, PSVR2 didn't make the controllers AA battery. Please, get that Xbox mentality out of here. You wouldn't put a AA battery in your mobile phone. Why would you want it in your controller? What you need to do is buy 15 more sets of Sense controllers and keep them charged up, and then what's the issue going to be? Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. Space Denizen is here saying, what up? How you doing, Mr. Space? I don't have anywhere to recycle batteries. Well, that's another question. I bet Decepticon just throws them into the New Jersey Sea when he's finished with them, saying that they power the electric eels. Casanova 20 says batteries are 20 years old, out of date. Get them, roast them. Get them. Everyone get Decepticon. He can take it, don't worry. T says, I don't know. There you go. It is what it is, T. You get the rechargeable shits, they last for weeks. Listen, I don't think you can compare really the Sense controllers with an Oculus controller because there's so much more going on with the Sense controllers in terms of the haptics, in terms of the triggers. I know the batteries themselves are smaller than what's in the DualSense, but still, I mean, they need to be smaller because they're, you know, need to fit in each hand individually. It can't be too heavy. The balance has to feel right. And I'm sure it will vary from game to game. Some games are going to use the triggers a lot more than others, the haptic feedback a lot more than others. So your mileage may vary there. But I think for the most part, and Tradition himself, I don't know if he's still here, but he mentioned how, you know, the type of battery with the USB-C charge, it can do like a quick charge. So maybe you take a shit for 10 minutes, you come back and that gives you an hour because of the type of charging method it is. I don't know. anything about that kind of technical stuff. But if he says this, I believe him because he's mostly right. Like 90% of the time, maybe more than that. Probably 100% of the time. I would love a Resident Evil 7 PSVR2 version, says Casanova. Exactly. Black Tiger is here. How you doing? Should put that D in it. Should put that D in it. What is he talking about? See, this is the trouble. I can't keep track, but I don't know. It sounds a bit rude. Sounds a bit spicy. Sensual, maybe. Rechargeables are legit, says Space Denizen. I don't know if we like that kind of talk around here. Sounds a bit Xboxy for my liking. Ian Langford, how you doing? Says, I can't not wait to play this on day one. It looks fantastic. You can't not wait? Come on, Ian. Come on. Big fat D battery strapped to us, says Decepticon. A big fat D battery. It's getting filthy. It's getting filthy in here. Yeah, Sense would need 3 to 4 double A's. Haha, there you go. You'd be burning through them. Beach D energy. Saka Velasco says, would I get my pre-ordered PSVR2 delivered on the release days? I don't know, Saka. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you. Depends on where you're from. It depends on who you ordered from. And it depends on if they've got their shit together, basically. It's in God's hands now. Or, you know, if you don't believe in God, it's in, you know, what do people do? I don't know. The universe's hands. I don't know. These concepts. This is not what I'm supposed to be talking about. Not politics. Not spiritual concepts. Zach Wilder. That's what I'm supposed to be talking about. Zach the Lego Maniac. I'm already working on wrist-mounted power banks with magnetic USB-C plugs. I don't know if you're being serious or not. You could be. It could work, you know. Orbital Decline says Gran Turismo 7 with a wheel and VR is going to be so immersive. It's going to be the premium way to play Gran Turismo 7. The perfect way to play is, I think, especially with the force feedback wheel, the proper one that you spend like €300 on or something like that, that you need to bolt down to the table or else it'll shake the shit out of your table. You need a sturdy table as well for those ones. And you want the pedals, you'd want the shifter, all those things. But yeah, I'm going to be, you know, slumming it with the DualSense. T says the Sense controllers have much more going on than the Oculus controllers. The batteries would run dry of energy fast. There you go, Decepticon. You're so stupid, Decepticon. Man. Think before you open your goddamn mouth again, okay? Thank you, T. Casanova says, my friend has a Gran Turismo 7 chair and wheel already. Can't wait to try his rig with VR. There's like so many people seemingly stocking up on getting these rigs, these big massive rigs that you like come in like 5 different boxes and you gotta assemble them, and it's crazy. It's crazy how excited people are getting about it, that they're going to these kind of lengths. Chaos. If you're the same Chaos I remember from a long time ago, then welcome back. Mine's already shipped from Best Buy in Canada. Estimated arrival 2 days. Are you telling me you're getting this on Friday? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Saka Velasco says, I do. I assume about believing in God. Well, then it's in God's hands. Saka. Say a few prayers. Light a few candles. Casanova 20 says, my GameStop in Canada confirmed 10 a.m. pickup on the 22nd. Ooh. The Canadians are like, you know, sneaky enough. What's going on with these Canadian Best Buy people? You know? And GameStop people too, apparently. We're going to have to make some phone calls. I can't be letting you have it before me. I'm sorry, Casanova, but I'm going to have to rat you out. You too, whoever. Chaos. Chaos and Casanova, you're getting ratted out. I'm sorry. 5XL says, I need a full PSVR2 release of an Ace combat game. Oh, we're going to talk about that. The name escapes me right now, but you're going to be happy. What's the goddamn name? Project Wingman. That's what we're going to be talking about. Apparently that's a game that's been out for ages and I've never heard of it. Orbital Decline was not talking to me. Black Tiger says, Sony going to make a skeleton body pack for the VR you wear. Just plug it into your brain, the base of your brain, the full Matrix experience. Fixel gets us. Ali Boy, how you doing? My biggest fan, Ali Boy, says, finally have 150 cars in Gran Turismo 7. I want to wait to get the rest in VR. I got a trophy that popped the last time I played for 50 cars. And I thought that was a lot. So you got me beat, Ali Boy. That's what it says, but who knows? It's too late. I'm snitching you out. I got to make sure. And good to be back. Good to have you back. Although you're going to regret coming back, let me tell you. It's cold, so we have nothing better to do, says Casanova. Maybe I'll cut you some slack that way. And Chopped is here, brother. Sup, brother? Chopped, welcome back to the chat. I hope you're ready to get back into the world of PSVR, Mr. Chopped. And I hope you've been well. Orbital Decline says, what is this project Wingman? The small portion of Ace Combat 7 VR was rad. Do we get a full game? It's on the list of things I'm going to talk about. I'll get there, I promise. Y'all, I'm hyped to be playing Firewall and Pavlov together. People, we are getting close. It's a new golden age of VR coming to PlayStation. It's insane. Chopped can't wait. And T says, when do you think it will be on discount? PSVR 2? Or what do you mean? What will be on discount? If you mean PSVR 2, then I mean, it's going to depend on the sales. If it bombs, then they might want to drop it by 50 or 100 before Christmas, but I don't know. Casanova says, you see the news about the new Firewall contractor? Yes, I did. That is in the list of things to talk about. Well, I haven't finished talking about Resident Evil 8 yet, so I'm just going to get back to that. Or have I finished talking about Resident Evil 8? Oh, another thing I left out, sorry, in the analysis trailer was the piano. At the very end, there's a little scene where he plays a piano, and I don't know what the tune is. It could be some kind of Resident Evil tune. I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat knows what it was. But I mean, I'm not too hyped that I can't play a piano in real life, so I'm not going to know how to play it in the game. But the point is that they're adding all these cool little interactions that I hope they've got like loads of them peppered all around the place. Little toys, little things for us to play with that can really, I mean, if that's an accurate piano, you could spend a few hours just messing around with that, trying to recreate all kinds of tunes. I can imagine we will see YouTube videos with like, hundreds of thousands of views being like, oh, I recreated Moonlight Sonata or one of those pianist songs, as they say on the streets. What are the kids listening to? Mozart? PSVR 1 didn't go on sale for years, says Zach. Well, there you go. It's a bit of history to inform your decision, or to answer your question a little bit. Next thing I want to talk about is... Excuse me. Why is this... Oh, no. Okay, I must have closed the window by accident. It's going to be the Firewall news, but let me get Google Chrome up. And let me push it up on the screen. It's a tweet from First Contact Entertainment, where they revealed new key art, basically. I'm just going to full screen that, or, buff it up a bit, and let me see if I can get it on our screen. Can we do that, please? Computer? Yes? Yes, we can. Here we go. Let me enlarge that, though. It's a bit small. Okay. So here's the new key art for Firewall Ultra. And there's a few interesting tidbits to note here. Let me just lock that in place. First things first, there's a brand new contractor front and center. His name is Havoc. Okay? Let's just identify them first before we go into any more details. To the left of him is Mako. You might remember her as the one, the silent one, the stealthy one with the ninja. You can see she's shushing, which, kind of mimics her stealthy kind of vibe. Over here, you've got Skip, who is now bald. He used to wear a cap. Now he's cut the hair. I think he had a mullet as well. He's bald. What else can we say about him? He's holding a shotgun, not much else. He used to wear 2 wristwatches. One of them would symbolize his dead brother or something like that, but now he seems to only have one, so maybe he's gotten over it. I don't know. Down here we have Nala, and she's holding a handgun with the flashlight attachment, so we're getting a good look at flashlight attachments up in the flesh. And you can see on her arms she's got those kind of African style tribal, I don't know what they're called, but it's like they raise the skin somehow, or is there implants going on in there? I don't know what it is, but It looks like the surface of her skin is raised. Over here, I believe this is... I didn't know who it was at first. I asked people what they thought. Some people replied saying that they think it could be Node. So on further inspection, it does look like it could be Node. He's kind of got an Indian look to him. And then this guy, which I assumed was Fang straight away, the Chinese guy. But then Wolf, the Wolf Craze, replied saying he thinks it's Tariq. So I looked at it again. I still think it's Fang. But now I'm a little bit more hesitant. I'm less confident in that. If you kind of cover his head, because he used to have hair, now he's bald as well. Going bald is all the rage in Firewall Ultra. I think he kind of has the Chinese kind of look to his face, or East Asian rather than Middle East. And of course, an interesting point here is that he's holding a sniper rifle with a scope, which is important because Firewall Zero Hour, of course, did not have any sniper rifles or magnification scopes. Pull up the chat real quick. Ali Boy says, might take a couple of days of hating it before the VR comes in the mail. Make grass hit harder. Resident Evil 8 gonna go hard. Another junkie. Another junkie. Why do I attract you junkies, Ali? What is it about this channel that just... it's like a magnet for your kind. Fozzie Bear says, I got my PSVR 1 for 200. Black Friday sale, regular price is 400, only months after release. Well, okay, there you go. Make that thumb big, says Daniel. I never got the Firewall Platinum. I wonder if Ultra will be easier. It was the long shot trophy for me. You couldn't get it. Anyone I know who has that trophy had to organize it with friends to get it. I don't think anyone got that shit naturally. We have Mass. How you doing, Mass? He says Firewall Ultra later this year. Thought it was near launch. That's actually another point I was going to bring up. We'll talk about that in a sec. Chopped wants a release date as well. Zach Wilder says scarification. Is that what it's called? Scarification? So they actually damage the skin, and then it heals over and makes those designs interesting. Thank you, Zach. The Lego.
Oh, shit! Tradition has just donated 75.71 through Super Chat. That's so moist. Get yourself a new lens cloth for your soon-to-be acquired luxury actively ventilated VR headset.
10,000 yen. $75.7. In case you wanted to know what that was. That's a cow level donation. It was so big it summoned 5XL. The 5XL reaction. I'm kind of spitting out of my mouth now. I'm salivating over this massive fucking tip from Tradition. Holy shit, let me put that on the screen. Look at that red background. He gets a special red background. Listen, thank you very much. Obviously, that's ridiculous. You shouldn't be giving me... Nobody should be giving me any kind of amounts like that. That's too much. All I do is sit down and talk shit, really. So thank you very much. A new lens cloth. What's wrong with my 7-year-old has never been washed once, completely dusty PSVR 1 lens cloth? Or do you think it will come with another one? None of the unboxing videos showed a lens cloth. But again, holy shit. Thank you, Decepticon, for the ridiculous generosity. Those are Japanese currencies. He's siphoning into my account right now. So I appreciate that very much. Anyway, I feel flippant saying anyway. I feel like I should be thanking him more for that. And I'll thank him again later on, and Tiffany as well. Let me just read what the notes I have here, because I've got a few things. Okay, so the new contractor, what was interesting about this guy is, well, did I say his name was Havoc? I can't remember. They kind of give him a bit of a backstory. They kind of, you know, what did they say about him? Something about how he disagreed with the... It's up here. Decorated former elite military operative, he is well trained, well conditioned, and well equipped to get the job done despite his cocky attitude. He was kicked out of the program after a big disagreement with his superior. Now, in Firewall Zero Hour, every single contractor had like a bio. You could go to their page, their profile, whatever, click the bio, and it will give you like a few paragraphs of the background. But First Contact never really promoted like in this way. Now, it could be just a new technique, it could be a new approach they're taking. Maybe as every contractor is announced, they'll give them a little blurb, the background, stuff like that. But I was kind of thinking as well, could this point to some kind of story stuff? If there's, like we've talked in the past about how they were hiring mission designers and stuff like that. So what if they're more story based? What if this guy has a story? You know, the way he's kind of front and center here as well. I mean, Skip kind of used to be the poster boy for Firewall 0 Hour, and now this guy seems to be taking center stage. They're calling this the key art as well, which is kind of like the main graphic they'll be using to promote it. So it has me wondering about that. Also, a weird thing I noticed is that they all seem to be wearing the same type of glasses, or very similar. I don't know if that means anything. Like maybe they're all in the same side or something. I don't know. More importantly, I guess, if you're not interested in the story or whatever, is that he has a skill called Condition. Now, his Condition, as you can see here, gives him 2 abilities, which is kind of, groundbreaking. It changes how Firewall can be played. It raises questions, obviously. So his Condition skill gives him resistance to bullet damage, which is Bullet Sponge. That's what Texas had. And it deploys a mine once he's been eliminated from battle, which is Instant Karma, which was not assigned to any contractor. Anyone could equip that. So now that Bullet Sponge is given to him, does that mean Texas is gone? Or could she be getting a brand new skill to replace this? Is every single skill going to have 2 benefits now? Is there still going to be 2 skills per contractor? Or is it now just going to be 1 that covers 2 different abilities? I don't know. I mean, it raises many questions, as I said. Let me get back into the chat for a sec. Where was I? Bald is all the rage, says Donnie. Good. Now I have contractors that have the same hairstyle as I does. You already had the Norwegian guy. What's his name? Odin. You had Odin. 5XL happy with the notification. Is that China money? It's Japan money. It's Japan. It's clean. Ali Boy says also the amount gameplay changes they added for Resident Evil 8 really makes me excited for other hybrid games and what they might add. Exactly. They put the effort in. It doesn't have to just be a viewpoint if they go to the trouble of creating systems like this. Of course, I wonder how much Sony had a hand in this in terms of, funding that, or did Capcom want to do it themselves? I don't know. Soup droppings, says Decepticon. Hold on a sec. Let me know if you hear a small child crying. No one knows says, I have said many times to set up the long shot pistol skill trophy. Just hit me up and we'll do it. I know, but I just can't be arsed. I just can't be arsed to boot up the game just for getting that trophy and messing around with this, and it has to be a certain distance, and can't be arsed. Booyakashat says, instead of bringing out Firewall Ultra, they're bringing out Solaris 2 for some reason. That's not true. That's not true, Booyakashat. We'll get to that. I mean, they are bringing out Solaris 2, but it's not instead of Firewall Ultra. Firewall Ultra is still coming. Japanese, that's yen, exactly. Killer Sam is here. How you doing, Killer Sam? He says, looks moist. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it looks moist. It was actually a white cloth 7 years ago. Why is it blue? Where's the blue coming from? Just the bacteria. Jason Voorhees says, my cloth is great. Yeah, that was like a version 2. I think version 2 headset's got the grey cloth. But the OGs are rocking blues. Crips for life. Ali Boy says, but our PS5s are getting married in 7 days. I'm not sure what he means by that. No problem. What? Just like me, laughing face. I'm missing out on some jokes here. I don't get it. VR lens pin, by the way. I've heard about them. I've heard they're the way to go. Black Tiger says, wish I wasn't on a bridge. My connection is bad. You're on a bridge? Don't jump, says Donnie. Good advice. J-Way AC2, how you doing? J-Way says, sniper scopes, let's go. And does that mean longer maps? It raises more questions. A lot of questions raised just by a simple key art and a couple of paragraphs in tweets, basically. Ali Boy says, I don't want to spam the chat, but also does anyone think the haptic gear like vests might come in the future for PSVR2? And you're welcome to ask as many questions as you want, Ali Boy. As long as you're not like spamming emojis or some shit like that, I don't consider it spam. As long as it's genuine. And I'm sure there could be third-party haptic gear stuff. Tradition says maybe the glasses are some high-tech HUD overlay ones in Fire. That could be part of the lore, that they wear these glasses for an overlay. It's a good theory. I like it. Andy H2 says, hey there, big bearded hottie. Thank you, Andy. God, I'm gonna blush. Thank you, Andy. No one knows says so many questions as far as the skills go. See, I'm smiling. Why can't you all make me smile like, well, Tradition made me smile too with the Fat Stacks and Tiffany. But that's how you can do it for free, you know? So many questions as far as the skills go. Yes, I did have Odin, exactly. That was from Daniel. Fozzie says maybe you don't get to pick your skills. So you mean like the secondary skill gone? Just whatever the contractor has? Is that what you mean? The built-in skill? I'm sure Skyrim with guess a PSVR2 version. Haha, I'm not too sure because they now are owned by Microsoft. And Microsoft and Sony are kind of at each other's throats right now. So I'm not sure they'll give you, they just do them a favor like that and let them have Skyrim. Look up the Wooger vest. Andy says I have to wait until near summer to get mine. I'm unemployed now. I'm sorry to hear that, Andy. It's rough going. Looking forward to Kayak the most. Kayak is probably my 5th game I'll play. I have it pre-ordered. Just waiting for the preload to come. What about the big... That sounded dirty, didn't it? Just waiting for the preload to come. What about the big kid screaming and crying? What about a big kid screaming and crying? Not sure what he means. I'll farm trophies with anyone, Casanova TSC. Well, there you go. If anyone's looking to get the trophies. Chop's got the blues. There you go. He's a Crip. Irish Crips, exactly. Buyakasha says, I really want team deathmatch or some kind of respawn mode. Waiting, looking at cameras after dying, the first 2 minutes turned me away from Firewall 0 Hour. I've never had that problem because I've never died in Firewall 0 Hour. Usually it's Decepticon or someone like that telling me what they see in the cameras, but I'm too good to be killed. 5XL says, spectating through the cameras was valuable though. It could really help your team. It was, literally. It was a method of keeping you in the game even after you died. But extra modes wouldn't hurt, Ali Boy says, also, dare I say it, I think The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners has to go head-to-head with Resident Evil 8 visuals with the new mechanics. I'd say it goes head-to-head with the new mechanics, definitely. But in terms of visuals, I think Resident Evil 8 takes that. Just because Saints and Sinners is going for like the graphic novel style, whereas Resident Evil 8 is going for the more kind of impressive, realistic visuals, high fidelity, 4K textures, all that. Casanova says, I've been following you since First Contact mentioned you on stream back in 2017. Cool. Have we talked before? Have you been in the chat before? Is this your first time, long time listener, first time caller? Well, you're welcome. Never died in Firewall 0 Hour. He knows it. Donnie knows us. Donnie knows what's up. Did I miss something? Yeah, the questions raised about Texas. Is she gone? Does she have a new skill? Will she be back? Mako with the fringe, new hairstyles. So yeah, just the fact that they're got all these new looks. Because I've seen a lot of people call Firewall Ultra a remaster or a remake. But these kind of changes make it seem like, time has passed. They're different. So like more of a sequel, even though they're bringing back maps. The 2 maps we've seen so far have both been in 0 Hour. All the contractors, barring this guy, have all been 0 Hour contractors. But he still is a new one. And he's got a bit of a background story to him. So yeah, questions are raised. Okay, the next thing then I want to talk about is, I don't think I'll need to bring it up on the screen. It's just like an interview. Basically, Game Informer are running a piece on Resident Evil 4 Remake for the entire month. So every few days they put out a new video. They showed off some gameplay earlier in the month, and today or a few hours ago, whenever it was, I don't know, they did an interview where it was like 80 rapid fire questions for the two directors of Resident Evil 4, or like the director and the art director, or something like that. Two devs, anyway. And most of the if you watch this video, by the way, I think it's I found it hard to watch. It was the interviewer was just kind of being silly and funny the whole time, and then they were responding to that. But then every once in a while there would be a serious question. But it was a difficult watch for me. But whatever. But the one interesting thing that relates to us is he asked, "Will there be a first-person mode?" And they said no straight away. Now, does that mean it's not getting PSVR support? That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm trying to imply or anything like that. But it feels like that would have been the perfect opportunity for them to say the flat game doesn't, or when the VR version comes out or the update for VR comes out, then it will have a first person mode. But they didn't make any mention of that. It was just no. And that was a cut to the next question. So that makes me wonder if Sony are in control of the messaging for that. If there's a state of play, if there's a showcase or something happening, that they want to be the ones to give more details about that. That's the kind of impression I'm getting about that. At least I hope that's what the crack is. I hope it's not a case of, you know what, we changed our minds, we're cancelling this. Not happening. The other possibility then is that it's, you know, third person viewer. I don't know how I'd feel about that. But yeah. I don't know what you think about that. Why they've been so quiet on it for so long. It's out in a month. Resident Evil 4 Remake is out in a month. Jason Voorhees says, hit that thumb, y'all. Thank you very much, Jason Voorhees. I do appreciate that. Every bit of support helps. Booyakasha says, wonder why they made a sequel to Solaris when no one really played it on PSVR 1. I'll get to that soon-ish. Yeah, it's the next topic. No, wait, the topic after the next one. Donnie says, I do like the changes of the contractors, and the maps will be just as impressive, I'm sure. Well, the maps won't be the same either. Like, they're the same maps, but they're going to expand them in different ways. Like, I think we've seen the bunker map is, you know, it's still the bunker map, but there seems to be like different interactions and different doors and stuff that might open. Ali Boy says, I think Swordsman VR is an underdog and will be a great port with 4K. And yeah, I bet the Saints and Sinners devs might try to put more love into Behemoth. What I will say about if Blade and Sorcery ever comes to PSVR 2, I think that's bad news for Swordsman. That game was good. Like, Swordsman, the devs have really supported that very well. They've kept adding and adding and adding to the point like where it's the best thing you can guess to Blade and Sorcery on PSVR 1. Behemoth then is like, I don't know what to expect. A cool cinematic trailer, but I want to see it in action. It's running on a Quest. It's a native Quest 2 game, so my hopes are not too high. Booyakasha says Game Informer is still a thing. I mean, they get these big exclusives. So that forces people to go to them to watch the new Resident Evil gameplay. So that's, you know, that keeps them going, you know. Andy says, was there a reason why they decided to not give the aim a stock? There actually was a reason. My memory is a bit spotty now about this, but they wanted to do another sharpshooter. They had the sharpshooter controller on PS3, and that had a stock. It looked much more like a rifle. But someone in the design process, probably someone at Sony, said, no, we don't want this looking like an actual weapon. So you have to design this in such a way that it feels like a weapon in your hand, but it can't look overtly like a weapon, like an assault rifle or something like that. That's a big no-no. So that's why the aim controller kind of looks like a bicycle without wheels. That's why that happened. And I'm sure the aim 2 will be the same if it ever happens. Manly O'Beaferton is here. Evening, folks. How you doing, Manly? Poker face, says Jason Voorhees. I'm not sure what that relates to. Loose lips sink ships, says Black Tiger. I don't know what this means either. Oh, the Resident Evil 4 devs. I was like, what are they talking about again? What was I talking about? Manly O'Beaverton says, anyone else curious that Resident Evil 7 is being added to PS Plus the day before PSVR 2 is released? Possible surprise upgrade. I'm not going to rule anything else. But I don't know if you want to keep that a secret. The more good news, the better. The more headsets you can sell, the better. What am I going to do with my OG PSVR? Well, I'm going to move in houses soon. So hopefully when I set up my new space, if I'm able to set up a decent one anyway, I'll have like a shelf behind me and I can have the viewer headset behind me. Maybe the aim controller, the moves, whatever. Resident Evil 4 Remake and then viewer add-on. That's probably what it's going to be, the way it's taken so long. It's probably going to be a DLC a few months down the road. But if it's as good as Resident Evil 8 viewer is looking, then I don't mind. I'll wait a year for that, you know. Oh shit, we got a new follower. Demarcus 008. Thank you, Demarcus. Welcome to the patch. You're getting me moist. Apparently. It's true. Andy says, I'm going to love Resident Evil 8 VR. I think we all will. I mean, there's people who are just terrified of these games and can't handle horror in virtual reality. Those people are not going to like the second segment of that game. But everyone else is going to have a good time, I think. 5XL says, with the new controllers, I hope there's an attachment similar to that old sharpshooter. I hope so too. At least you'll be able to buy a third-party option, I'm sure. Tight lips, shake hips, says Zach Wilder. I keep feeling like I'm going to burp, so I'm sorry if there's weird facial expressions going on. It's not related to me reading your comments, don't worry about that. Marcosaurus says, hope they really make Firewall VR as... Oh, this VR as fuck thing that's without parole started is starting to take off. Like the Resident Evil 8 updates. I don't want to press X to hack. I want to mash the keyboard, etc. We've seen how you hack, actually, I think. In the very first trailer, an icon appears in front of the laptop, and it's a symbol of a hand with a point like this, and then he just reaches his hand down. And then the hack starts automatically. So I think it is like it doesn't matter what your fingers are doing probably, but you got to put your hand at the laptop to hack. I think. Subject to change, obviously. And also possibly misinterpreted by me. Andy says, oh man. So I guess we have to make our own stock. Yeah, and that's what a lot of people did with PSVR or with AIM1. There's a lot of custom stocks out there. PVC pipes, all kinds of fucking bootleg shit. But if it works, it works. Oh, hi, Mark. It's not. I didn't do it. It's bullshit. I didn't hit her. QW says, what's the IPD range for the PlayStation Viewer 2? I know it has number 1, number 2, and number 3. Don't ask me for like the specific millimeters. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, off the top of my head. There is an FAQ on the PlayStation blog. I'm sure if you look at that, it must be answered there. I'd be surprised if it's not. Mercosaur did not hit her. Exactly. We're all on the same page here. And oh, Stream Elements. Shut your mouth, Stream Elements. You're moving? Yes, I am moving. Well, we're buying a house and basically we're in the very last stages. It could all fall through, so I don't want to jinx it. Andy2 says, really hope someone can mod PSVR 2 to work on PC. Would help with adoption. I've heard it's going to be very difficult for that to happen, but I wouldn't be too surprised if Sony officially support us maybe a year or two down the line themselves. Using my Spider-Man PS4 Pro as my PSVR machine and my PS5 for PSVR 2. It's a nice setup you have there. It's a nice little situation. Manlio Beaverton says, I could never finish Resident Evil 7 in VR. Too freaky. I just bought Resident Evil 8 in the last sale. What am I doing? Stick to your guns this time. You'll get through it. You know, you can't have a name like Manly O'Beaverton and not be finishing these games. Come on. Ali Boy says, also I will cry if Insomniac Games comes out with a viewer edition to Marvel Spider-Man. If you have viewer legs, I don't think people will get too sick if they remove a lot of the flipping and stuff. I think Spider-Man viewer could be like the most powerful IP that Sony could have access to. I know they don't own the IP, but they've got leverage on us. They could make this happen, and obviously Insomniac is the perfect studio to make that happen. That would be how you'd move headsets. Obviously the motion sickness would come into play with the Spider-Man game. Excuse me. Maybe Wolverine as well. Maybe that might be an easier fit for people with motion sickness as well. I don't know. Also, The Room is a gem. It is. You can watch that over and over again and still get new pieces of enjoyment out of it. Did Karen poop on your wall, says Andy. Exactly, she did. She did, but in fairness to her, she didn't have many other options. Manly and scared of RE8 is an oxymoron. Come on, Manly. Getting roasted. Resident Evil 8 isn't that scary. You should try it. It's more action-based. That's the kind of... If I'm going to judge Resident Evil 8 based on the game itself, nothing to do with VR, that was a big letdown for me with Resident Evil 8, is that Resident Evil 7 was definitely the scarier game. Resident Evil 8 has its moments with horror, but like they deliberately said that they didn't want to scare as badly as 7 because they wanted more people to be able to play it. So it is way, like Andy says, way more action-based. Way more guns, way more enemies. And they can throw a lot of enemies at you at the same time as well. I mean, there's points in that game where it's like this werewolves popping out everywhere. You don't have time to be scared. Mercosur says we got Windlands 2 coming. Not quite Spidey sense, but no, I think listen, Windlands 2, fine, great game, whatever. But in terms of like moving headsets, Spider-Man's the one. That's the one everybody knows what Spider-Man is. Everybody. Manly just smiling. Also, you speak in my language with Insomniac games. There you go. 7 was scarier, a lot scarier, especially the first hour. And then later on when you go into the attic area, that was pretty terrifying too. Edify Till I Die says, just dropping in before I head home from work, but Resident Evil 8 is Van Helsing and Resident Evil 7 was Blair Witch, Texas Chainsaw inspired. Exactly. I mean, you put it perfectly. That's how it is. That's how it feels. That's how it is. The fact you can punch in Resident Evil 8 is incredible. That's kind of going to take the horror away from it as well, I think. That's going to be kind of goofy that you can just like slap these massive monsters and make them stumble. 1 week to go, exactly. Edify Till I Die. It's kind of crazy. The children are asleep. It is nearly 3 a.m. Otherwise, I'd be like, let's go. You know, like all the other cool YouTubers. But unfortunately, I can't. I can't find the IPD range for the PSVR2 anywhere. Sad face. I'm sorry, QW. If anyone knows, let QW know. I'll look it up after the stream. And I'll post it in the comments of this video. So if you want to come back and see if I've got it. I'll try and find that, QW. We're caught up in the comments. Next up is... Okay, I hope he won't mind me playing this video. I've got to find it first. We're going to be talking about Switchback VR. Which a lot of people are into. Surprisingly. Not surprisingly, obviously, because Rush of Blood was so good. But I'm going to put up this video from Gamertag VR. Let that play in the background. We might just mute that. And we'll pop that up. Oops, got to fix the window here. I'm a mess. Let's get that over here and then try and full screen real quick. And we might loop it if we need to. Okay. So, 3 YouTubers from England, UK, Gamertag, Mike, Virtual Reality Oasis, and Beardo Benjo were all invited to Supermassive Games, who are based in the UK as well, so that's why everybody else was shunned in terms of like the Americans and whatnot, I'm assuming. But they all got hands on 3 levels out of 10 with Switchback VR. So they got like a load of details, a load of gameplay, like way more gameplay than I thought. And basically I'm just going to rattle off a few facts, a few bits of tidbits that you might want to hear about the game. So 3 levels out of 10, they found that the rides, so each ride was longer than the ones in Rush of Blood. I think Gamertag said between 10 and 15 minutes per ride, but then there's also multiple paths in the tracks, so you shoot something to go left or right so that you can replay that again and you'll have a different experience, different enemies, different puzzles. There's puzzles in this apparently. Every level is based on a Dark Pictures anthology game, so if you've played those games you'll get something extra out of that. Of course there's a lot of tests now of the blink feature. Go through a certain room, it says don't blink, and then of course he blinks multiple times. Apparently it's a lot harder to do than you'd think, especially when you're terrified. And then the mannequins, like we've seen this in the trailer, but in one level it was mannequins, and then in a different level it was like stone statues that would move closer, and then like monsters would hatch out of the statues, break through. There seemed to be boss fights as well. I noticed there was a couple that I can remember. One was like in a room full of blood, and it was like swarms of rats. She was able to control these rats, and you were shooting at the swarms of rats while she was coming closer. And another one was in the outdoor area on like the Man of Medan level, I think, where it was like a thunderstorm on top of a ship, and she's got this force field bubble around her, and basically she's telepathic or telekinetically throwing shit at you, but like a red barrel will pop up beside her and you shoot that and it breaks her force field, and then you get a chance to attack. So it does have boss fights, lots of enemy variety, environmental hazards, and one interesting thing I thought Gamertag mentioned that he didn't go into detail on was that they're not using foveated rendering plus eye tracking. I mean, they're using eye tracking for features in the game, but they're not using foveated rendering. So, I mean, they must not feel like they need to. But I would imagine if you could use it, you would use it. I don't know why they're not. Excuse me. So that's interesting. I think like if you're using foveated rendering, surely you could up your frame rate or something like that. No. But what do I know? Literally nothing. Manly says there's a cool Quest 2 game called Resist. Kind of Spider-Man-ish. Swinging around an open city and shooting bad folk. Could have potential if got ported. Sounds good. I've never heard of it. Get some rest soon. I'm heading home. Catch you on the next one. Thank you, Edify Till I Die. And safe travels. 5XL would not mind a Farpoint sequel. I think a lot of people are in the same boat as you. We're all kind of looking forward to see what Impulse Gear do next, especially after they made that Larcenauts game, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was like a massive failure. It was like a hero shooter that they kind of did. At least nobody talks about it that I've heard. Andy says, by the way, when I first saw your video, I thought you're like a Navy SEAL because of your voice, but then I remembered I'm just watching videos of Firewall. Lol. What? You're like a Navy SEAL? What, you thought it was real life? My Firewall fuzzage. Solo Board Gaming Nice, how you doing? Says, I'm stressing because I pre-ordered the PSVR2 a month ago, but didn't receive confirmation email. Uh-oh. I see order on the website, but I also have not received payment email either. I assume you mean directly from PlayStation. That's how you got it. You see the order on the website. So what do you mean by that? Like you can log into your account and say that, yes, it has been ordered. Is that what you mean? This is probably going to sound stupid, but have you made sure you checked your junk folder on whatever email you used? And it might be worth getting in contact with Sony, sending them an email to the support team or whatever, just to confirm us if that's what it is, because, I'd be stressing too if I was you, if that was the situation, to be honest. Andy really wants the Farpoint sequel as well. And of course, we'd all want the AIM2 controller that would come with it, no doubt. Chap says, roller coaster shooters are so 2015 over this lame shit. Just give me a Dark Pictures game in VR. No, we had a Dark Pictures game in VR. It was called The Inpatient. And no thank you. I will take the roller coaster game 110% of the time over another Inpatient. Where you're just walking around, you make a decision every now and again. What I hate most in VR is when there's a character there. It's like a story heavy game, and you just have to sit there, listen to them talking, or stand there listening to them talking. I can tolerate it flat, but for some reason I cannot tolerate that shit in VR. And I love story games flat. I don't know what it is, but they don't let you skip the dialogue or anything like that. It's just no, give me the roller coaster. I'll take the roller coaster. Especially it's the type of game where you can show to friends, family, whatever. They don't have to do anything other than shoes, and they're going to have a swell time. Manly O'Beaverton says, are you in Ireland? I messaged GameStop and they said they're shipping them on the 19th to get delivered by the 22nd. That's who I've ordered with. They never told me that. When I messaged them, they said they're shipping them a day or two beforehand so that they'll be there at launch. That's what the wording they used to me, roughly. They never gave me specific dates. But the 19th and get there by the 22nd? Hold on a sec. The 22nd is the fucking days. What am I thinking? Why did I think that was sooner than the actual days? I'm an idiot. Anyway. No, I'm in the US. I don't think I'll be receiving mine on launch. Well, don't give up hope yet, but definitely try and reach out to Sony and get confirmation. No joy with customer service. Farpoint would be so dope. Are they updating us? Are they still around, says Booyaka Shed. They're not updating us. I mean, they're not updating the game that we have now. They could be porting us to PSVR2 for all I know. But I think Sony own the Farpoint IP, and Sony have not talked about any of their PSVR1 games. So Astro Boss, Blood and Truths, PSVR Worlds, fucking what else have they done? Firewall 0 Hour, although Ultra kind of makes that moves. But they have not talked once about bringing those games to PSVR2. So there's a lot of, rumors going around that maybe an event will happen where they're like, oh, here's Farpoint, here's Blood and Truth, here's Astro Boss, all coming to PSVR2. No added charge. Well, probably €10 knowing Sony. Minus with the STW. How you doing, Minus? Hope you're keeping well. Ali Boy says, always thought we should have at least Dying Light 2 swinging in a viewer Spider-Man. The sense of falling for real and being able to control where you're swinging accurately. I'll take both of those games. The order shows on the PlayStation Direct website, but that's it. I checked with spam and nothing. At this point, I'm just hoping for the best. Yeah, have you heard of other people with the same situation as you? Because if there's other people who've also got the order put in but haven't received any emails, then maybe it's some kind of, not something to worry about. I don't know. I mean, from one of the flat ones, but that's what it would look like. If you brought one of the flat dark pictures into VR, that's what it would be. It would be you standing in a spot. There'd be no cool dynamic cameras that keep you entertained, like in the flat version. It'd be you in first person, watching some guy walking along, coming up to you, blah blah blah, yes, no, and that would be it. Great Tantrum says, can you imagine a Switchback support the Yaw 2? Can someone translate Great Tantrum's comment for me too? What's a Yaw 2? Is this like a Ligma joke? Did I just walk into a Ligma? Ali Boy says that Pavlov page on PlayStation can't come soon enough. Yeah, I really want to pre-order that one too. Get that in the bag. Ligma bag. So yeah, Switchback is delayed, of course. It was supposed to be a launch game coming out on the 16th of March. But I think it's kind of cool that we still have great games to look forward to as soon as a month later, And even Firewall. And by the way, that's something I forgot to mention about Firewall. Apparently, the tweet they put out today, that was supposed to be their confirmation. The big news there is that it was coming 2023. But Sony already put out a trailer on their site saying, on their YouTube channel, I should say, saying, here's all the games coming in 2023. And they showed, Spider-Man 2, blah, blah, blah. And Firewall Ultra was there. So the announcement was kind of already made, but not by First Contact. But yeah, okay. The next thing we got to talk about is the Germans. The Germans up to their old tricks again, am I right? Well, no, I'm not right. They're not up to their old tricks. Don't worry about that. But basically, I think it was the German PlayStation blog. Let me get the browser back up again. So this is Upload Viewer. They did a breakdown of this to make my life easier. Henry Stockdale in particular did the breakdown. So the title is, did Sony just leak Solaris Offworld Combat 2 for PSVR 2? So, Sony listed 4 previously unconfirmed games coming to PSVR 2, including an unannounced sequel to First Contact Entertainment's Solaris Offworld Combat. The games were listed on the German PlayStation blog in the gallery area with a subheader listing saying Solaris Offworld Combat 2, alongside a trailer for the original game. So when I saw that, I assumed they were porting the original Solaris to PSVR 2 and that they mistakenly added in the 2 at the end. That's what I thought. So the title also appears in the tags for the site. First Contact declined to comment, and then in an update, which is something I was going to pull up here, but he's linked it handily, First Contact Entertainment posted on Twitter more details coming soon with the image embedded below. So Sony kind of shot the bed, it sounds like, and forced First Contact's hand, I assume. And now they've released this logo because the cat's out of the bag, kind of. Solaris, and you can see the 2 where the eye is, which is a cool kind of design for the logo, I must say. So it is confirmed, it is happening. They're working on Firewall Ultra and they're working on Solaris 2 at the same time. The same gallery also lists Wanderer, which is a puzzle game, which is supposedly very good, but I didn't bother with because I was kind of thinking, you know, it's probably going to be a PSVR2 game, and I'm glad I waited. Gorn, which is that wacky arena fighter game. Project Wingman, which is actually the kind of these ones, it's the one that kind of really hyped about for our 5XL. If you're looking forward to Ace Combat, that's the one. We'll watch the video in a sec. None of which have been confirmed for PlayStation VR 2 yet. Wanderer and Gorn aren't particularly surprising as they made it to PSVR 2 because both were released on the original PSVR. I definitely misread that, but you get the gist. If confirmed, we'll also have to check if the games will offer free next-gen upgrades like Vacation Simulator and Thumper. Isn't Thumper paid? You've got to pay €5 for Thumper. I don't think that's free. As for Project Wingman, that never arrived on PS4, though the PC version offered optional VR support. Nothing else is interesting there, but let me go to Project Wingman because I think you gotta see this. What's frustrating HOTAS support hides a great game. I just want to see the video. Launch trailer. Here we go. Get this ad away, please. Pop it up full screen. Stick it on loop. Leave that playing in the background while we have some chats. This game is coming to PSVR 2, and it looks as good as Ace Combat did, if not better. I don't know, I never played Ace Combat, but Ace Combat was like a big budget game, so this is looking pretty hot. Pretty hot, indeed. Stupid spelling check, says Great Tantrum. Yaw is a motion simulator. And what was the game he said he will be good with us? Switchback. Oh, yes. You're right, it would. That's the big thing that you sit in and it fucking spins you around all over the place. Absolutely. Manly O'Beaverton says Project Wingman and Wanderer will be high on my list, and for good reason. Wanderer is supposedly a very good puzzle game, and then Project Wingman, just, well, you can see what it looks like. It looks good. Now, it is a flat game as well, so you're seeing some flat footage there too, but that's VR now, you can see on the screen, and it looks really good. And obviously there's plenty of gameplay you can look up, because it is out for... It's been out for a couple of years, I think, on PC VR. Solo Board Gaming says, no, I haven't heard anyone say the same. I'm just so hyped because I pre-ordered a bunch of games. I counted that I will have 16 games come launch day. But without the headset, they won't do me well. If you're really concerned about it, what you could do is cancel the pre-order, and then just on the day of the launch, the morning of the launch, go to your local like GameStop or whatever it is in your area and just get one that way. Maybe that's a safer bet. I don't know. Does anyone actually own one of these things? Can you buy them for your home? Or are they like, are they like ridiculously expensive? Ali Boy says, crossing my fingers the flat screen playback on PSVR 2 will support VRR because it does support 120 Hz. Oh, you mean the cinema mode in it? That's a question for the FAQ that they put up on the blog a week ago. More details coming soon. The teases sounds promising. We'll talk about Solaris properly in a sec, by the way. Donnie says, I hope they ported Solaris because it was dead when I tried to play it. Have still yet to play a single game. PW is a lengthy game as well. Project Wingman, yeah, so I think it's 20 aircraft you can fly in this, and it's a single player campaign. No multiplayer from what I know of any kind, so it's just single player. And I can't remember how lengthy the campaign is supposed to be, but like Manly said, it's beefy like himself. Black Tiger says they don't charge you till your order is about to ship. But he never got a confirmation email that he ordered it in the first place. That's the thing that's bothering me. Or that would bother me. $3,000. And it's a big fucking abomination that you'd have. Like, where would you find the space? You'd want to have it out in a shed somewhere. But yeah, getting back to browser disappeared for a sec. Getting back to Solaris too, I think it's kind of interesting the fact that Solaris won. How long did it last? It didn't last long. Like even from the very beginning, I'm trying to think because I barely played it myself. Firewall was much more up my alley. I'm not into the sci-fi kind of stuff personally. But it seemed like Solaris didn't really take off properly at all. And then, like Donnie says, Donnie's not the only one saying, you know, he tried to play us, we couldn't find the match. So it makes me wonder about Solaris too. Have they like got something up their sleeve? Are they going to blow us away with what it looks like? And it's going to be like a different, like, what are they going to do to avoid the same outcome? If you know what I mean. So I'm excited to see that in that regard. But Firewall Ultra is like way higher up my list than Solaris, but still obviously First Contact Entertainment, one of the best VR devs, if not the best VR dev out there. So whatever it is, I know it's going to be quality. But still, Ultra has my heart. Chop says, I got an email saying they are about to take my money and ship my shit. There you go. Chopped, you're laughing. Put the yaw where Karen used to be. Tyga says they don't do confirmation either. It was the same way with my DualShock Edge. Okay. Well, if that's true, then you got nothing to worry about, I guess. Or at least less to worry about. I assumed everyone got a confirmation email. Make it free to play, maybe. That could be the move. Maybe it'll be like a PlayStation Plus game. That could be the way to do it. Great Tantrum says, Yaw 2 is stupid expensive, but people who own us have already been using it for Gran Turismo 7, which does support it. I don't think I'd fit in it. I think I'd break in like a weight limit. Too fat for one of those kind of things. If I had to guess. Okay. That's enough of that for now. I think it's starting to slow down my laptop. These full screen little previews beside me. What is next to talk about? Yes, okay. It doesn't end. This one has got a lot of people excited. Not necessarily me. Although the more people are talking about it, the more I'm excited about it. So they're talking me into being excited about it. It is Walkabout Mini Golf. Can I find it, please? There we go. Walkabout Mini Golf VR. This game obviously was on like every other platform under the sun, but it's coming to PSVR2 now as well. Pull us up here. They just put out a tweet. They just put out a random tweet saying, hey, Walkabout Mini Golf is coming soon to PSVR2. Be ready to feel a new reel, trademark, as Walkabout Mini Golf's 8 easy and 8 hard mode courses, plus 8 more DLC will be available when we launch. Features and details. Let's go into features and details, shall we? 7 languages. Live integration, but that's not for PlayStation VR 2. Crossplay. Oh, what's that mean? What does the asterisk mean? These have ticks. But these... Oh, asterisk means coming soon. Current and coming soon. There you go. I did not click on this website before I came on here. Crossplay doesn't apply. DLC courses, yes, coming soon. DLC bundles, yes, coming soon. So crossplay included, which means you'll be playing with the Questicles, the PC guys, Pico guys, everything. Basically, this is kind of like a... Well, there's no video playing here, which is... Can I get a video to play? Games? Walkabout Mini Golf. Let's just get that playing in the background. Loop. Okay. Close enough. Apparently this game is like really good. Not necessarily for the golf, even though the golf is supposedly like really good physics and stuff as well. But mostly just to dick around in with friends. It's like a really good social game. We can have 8 players playing with you. So it sounds like it's going to be like a really fun game to have streaming on game nights on the channel or whatever. Jay Way says free to play equals squeakers. Yes, it does. That's true. But squeakers are better than a dead game, I suppose. Especially if you can create private lobbies and whatever, then you can kind of avoid that. Too fat, says Donnie. Say it ain't so. It is so. I need to play these games and viewer stand up, get moving, lose a bit of weight, you know. Jason Voorhees says, and PSVR2 might save my life. That'll be what PSVR2 saved my life. That'll be a headline in 5 years' time when I'm thin as a rake, you know. When I ordered the VR1 camera adapter, I got the shipping notification a month after I got it, says Jason Voorhees. Yes, okay, so Sony not necessarily on the ball when it comes to these things. So maybe don't panic just yet. What else do we have to talk about? We've got Horizon Call of the Mountain, which can now be preloaded on your PS5s. I have it on mine. It was 46 point something gigabytes, as somebody else said at the beginning of the stream. But if you want to be ready for that day one, like I do, and if you didn't get the bundle, I'm sure a lot of you went with the bundle. You will not be able to pre-order or preload it if you got the bundle. But if you pre-ordered like me, you can download it now. Time to get you walking around and playing mini golf. Sounds like a good time live streaming with the patch. Exactly. We'll have a swell time. Manuel. How you doing, Manuel? He says, would only buy Walkabout mini golf again if they update to the new real. What? Would only buy Walkabout mini golf again if they update to the new reel on Quest 2. Okay, on PSVR 2. Nah. Only if they do it like Moss and Moss 2. How they upgraded the look on PSVR 2. Manuel, I'm not going to lie to you. That was a difficult read. I struggled with this. I felt like I was having a stroke halfway through. But I think what you're saying is you would only get it again if they significantly improve the visuals. Am I understanding that correctly? What else are we talking about? Yes, basically the embargo for the PSVR 2 breaking tomorrow, more than likely breaking tomorrow. Don't know what time. Could be by the time you wake up that everyone will already have the reviews out for the PSVR 2, but there was a hint from who does the Tetris Effect? Who makes that game? Tetris Effect. Oh, I don't know what their fucking account is. Whatever. Anyway, they put out a tweet saying, look, we haven't told you everything about Tetris Effect. Keep your eyes peeled tomorrow, Thursday, for more information. So it could be that Tetris Effect is one of those games that's under embargo, along with Horizon Call of the Mountain, Gran Turismo 7, Resident Evil 8. They could all drop tomorrow. Thursday would be the day to do it, I think, as well. If they're doing it Friday, then you're risking running into Saturday for the Australians and stuff like that. So I think Thursday is the last possible day to wait for the embargo to drop. Unless they're going to next week, which would be madness. Don't do that, Sony, please. So keep your eyes peeled tomorrow for all the embargoes dropping. Strokes are not allowed while live streaming. Decepticon always said I should die live streaming, and then I get lots of subscribers, lots of views. Ghost in the Flesh says, just got my G29 steering controller ready for Gran Turismo 7 in PSVR 2, which is good timing, Ghost in the Flesh, because I was just about to bring up, it's kind of old news now, a few days old, but I just wanted to mention it. Gran Turismo 7's updates for VR will be out Tuesday, so the day before the PSVR 2 launches, you will be able to have that patch downloaded, ready to go. Just like Horizon Call of the Mountain, download it, ready to go, preload it, so that when you have it on the day, or when you put the headset on the day, you're ready to go. Enhance Games. Oh, that's the name of the studio? Okay. Well, listen, I'm not going to bother now because I've basically spilled the beans. Ali Boy says, straight up going to slap Sony if they do my boy dirty, and don't send him a headset early next time. We've got about 7 years to get on their radar, Ali Boy. Let's do our best. It's crazy that PSVR without Pro didn't get one, though. I know it seems to be different, like the PlayStation UK and Europe seem to do things way differently than the US. The US PlayStation people seem to only give it to the mainstream media. But they did them dirty. Even if you hated without Pro, whatever, for whatever reason, didn't like them, you can't deny that nobody put more work into covering PSVR 1 than without parole. And the last 2 years, 3 years, whatever it's been, have been fairly barren for PSVR 2. And they're still putting out like 3 podcast shows a week an hour and a half long, 2 hours, whatever. It's just ridiculous that they got snubbed like that. But they did. But they've got so many fans that I think it's not going to affect them too much in terms of like people will wait to want to hear what they have to say as well, you know? Like, I'm going to watch their review for Call of the Mountain, even if it's like a week later than everybody else who got it day one or 2 weeks ago. Anyway, rant over. Sony, don't be a bitch. Cyborg, how you doing? Welcome back. Long time no see. Hope you're keeping well. Any word on a rifle peripheral for Firewall? Sadly, not. It's not going to happen, I don't think. Not in time for Firewall, anyway. But keep your eyes peeled for third-party stuff. I'm sure that'll start popping up once people have them out in the wild and they're kind of able to get the dimensions and whatnot. Also, Ghost, that is a rich man's dream. Respect. Oh, the steering wheel. Sorry, I was like, who's Ghost? Geisen says that's the publisher. Dev is Resonair and Monsters. Okay. I never played the Tetris Effect. But they did put out a tweet, so I applied to get like a review copy, so we'll see how that goes. Probably should have got it by now if I got it, but whatever. Manlio Beaverton says, I think they didn't get it because Brian leaked the PSVR2 specs. Well, if that's true, then I don't think Shuhei Yoshida will be retweeting his videos and stuff like that, which he did at least once, like last week or the week before. So he got snubbed, I think. Well, I don't think, no, I'm sorry. It's not that he got snubbed. It's just that Sony looked, well, he did get snubbed, but they looked down their noses at anyone who's not. IGN, Greg Miller's, all those kind of fucking hotshots. And PlayStation Europe, on the other hand, seem to have more of a grassroots kind of approach, you know? I mean, Gamertag viewer is big. I'm not going to say he's small, but he's like 40,000, 50,000, somewhere between 40 and 50. So compared to others who didn't get us, you know. Also, as long as Polish viewer doesn't get one first, damn. We got a Polish Paul Hazer in the chat. I appreciate that. Polish Paul getting roasted, says Danny. Cyber, why can't I say that? Says, thanks bro, good to be back. Beautiful words, touching words. Ghost in the Flesh says, I also have a Wooger haptic feedback vest. Should really help with the VR immersion. How highly do people recommend these things? These haptic vests, like, are you connecting them? Are you plugging them in? Are they battery operated? Do they last for long? Ali Boy says, also sorry for the spelling errors. Maiden got me messed up this Valentine's. Yeah, boy is in the sky. Maiden? Are you calling your girlfriend a maiden? You got yourself a maiden? Ali Boy living in the fucking land between, Elden Ring style. Oh yeah, we got one more. One more topic to talk about. Let me see if I can get the YouTube video. This one I actually never heard of. It's a Dreamcast game. That's kind of, the IP is Dreamcast. Let me stick the loop on. And reveal. There we go. Smash VRS. It is like a cross between Superhot in terms of visuals and Spark in terms of, it's like a sports kind of game. You're in a virtual arena. Is it tennis? There's a racket. There's a ball. I'm not sure what's going on. If you played the original something Smash, Cosmic Smash, is that what it was called? This is called Smash VRS. Well, you can see what's happening here. Like the paddle appears in his hand, slaps us, and then it cuts. Like, they do not show you any gameplay properly. Like, you know, it's kind of whatever. Let me just give you some details. Dreamcast IP. The demo for this is out on the 23rd of March. As you can see on the screen there, it has solo, co-op, and versus modes. And yeah, that's basically all I know about this game. Don't know the price, don't know the release dates, don't know anything like that. But I like Spark. Spark was a good game. That's a game that you would lose weight playing if you played it consistently. So maybe this will be too. Kid Blaze 210 says, only reason I'll get PSVR 2 when Resident Evil 4 Remake VR comes out, and if it's good. I hope it will. and I hope it is. But I think it has potential to be the best PSVR2 game. Next topic says Donnie. Well, this is the last one. Woojar is rechargeable, lasts a long time. Okay. I said I got Gamecast. Laughing face. I have no idea what's happening. Cog Resistance. How you doing, Cog Resistance? Welcome. Chopped like Spark. Well, listen, Chopped. I think that's the very first time I've seen you say something positive about any game ever. It must be trash. Antonio Greco with the thumbs up. How you doing, Antonio? Thank you for the thumbs up. And Spark Denizen says Spark was awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Rui Saraiva says, just watched an IGN video saying Gran Turismo 7 is incredible on PSVR 2. It absolutely looks like it will be. And yeah, everyone who previewed it was kind of gushing about it. Everyone was saying it was kind of amazing. Great Tantrum says Sega gives us oddball games in VR. Cut the crap, Sega. Give us Crazy Taxi or Jet Set Radio or Daytona. What about Sonic? First person Sonic. Loop the loops. Jason Voorhees, Resident Evil 7 and Ace Combat 7 are coming to PS Plus. I mean, there could be something there. There could be, but I'm just not gonna... You know, sometimes things are too good to be true, and I don't want to get my hopes up too much. Kid Blaze says, you think Sony will allow the heavy modding for Pavlov? I don't think so after seeing what they allow for Fallout 4. So Kid Blaze, there is some kind of... I don't know what it's called. Is it called Workshop or something? That's the developer Dave Vills, I think he's called. He's creating this thing on PC Viewer called Workshop, where the mods kind of officially become part of the game, and that could be like a backdoor way into getting mods into the console version of the game. And maybe Sony have kind of relaxed a bit, because if you're looking at Dreams, if you play Dreams, you will see loads of Super Mario stuff. You will see loads of SpongeBob things, like stuff that's clearly violating copyrights, and they're allowed to be there. So maybe Sony's stance has changed since Fallout 4. I really hope so, because apparently the mods in Pavlov are what really make it good on PC. And give us Alien Isolation. Could not agree more. That game needs to be in VR natively, not some bootleg patch on PC. Little Herb Gaming 504 says, what's up, Pumpkin? How you doing, Little Herb? Smoking that weed up. I like Firewall, says Chopped. He's got me there. He's got me there. And Little Herb cannot wait for PSVR 2. Are you getting it day one, Little Herb? Well, you must be if you can't wait. If you can't wait, you have to be getting it day one. Manly says, I'm remarkably crap at sim racers. Dying to try Gran Turismo 7 though. You get addicted to the licenses and stuff. Just trying to shave a fraction of a second off your time. It's something you can sink hours and hours into. Donnie says 50 people watching. Better all have smashed the thumb. Don't make me call the goons. Thank you very much, Donnie, for tenderly encouraging the viewers to hit the thumb button. I'd appreciate it if they did. Space Denizen says community made content planned. There you go. It's in the works. Kid Blaze says, is it just me, but Ethan in Resident Evil 8 VR still has his fingers in the gameplay, but loses half of them in the first chapter. I think that gets explained. I don't want to go into it in case anyone wants to avoid spoilers or whatever, but there is an explanation for what's going on with his hand. Chop says, gotta bounce, Chopped. Take care. The show's about to end soon anyway, but thanks for tuning in and thanks for the comments. Space Denizen says they might have made footage that avoids spoilers. I've already forgotten what we were talking about before that, so I don't know what he's saying. So sorry about that, Space Denizen. Drive Club VR was cool, but it needed more. GTA 7. You're skipping GTA 6? Says 5XL. No, Gran Turismo 7 will deliver, of course it will. It looks incredible. Did you ever check out that site with the 3090 PSVR 2 comparison? I did check. Well, I checked out the article that had the Pavlov dev, I think it was, who said PSVR 2 is 10% faster. But I don't know if there's actually an official comparison has been tested out by someone. I don't know. Did not see that. Gotta head to Laserfox Manly. Take care. Thanks for stopping by. 5XL says Gran Turismo. Shut up. But yeah, he's right. Gran Turismo 7 is going to be the real deal. And I cannot wait to drive a Toyota around in the tracks and admire the interior and whatnot. Alright, lads and ladies. It's late. I'm tired. We talked for an hour and 40 minutes. I talked for an hour and 40 minutes. You listened. You got talked at. But thank you for joining me. Thanks for all your comments. In particular, I have to give a massive shout out to Tradition for his investment into a better future for the channel with his 10,000 yen investment, and of course Tiffany as well with the donations. Very much appreciated. Thank you again. And everyone who watched, everyone who thumbs up, everyone who commented, everyone who subscribed, very much appreciated. And I'll probably be talking to you again this time tomorrow, because you know there's gonna be crazy PSVR 2 news again tomorrow. If you thought today was hectic for PSVR 2 news, and it was, tomorrow is going to be nuts. I hope, if the embargo breaks. It will. It probably will. 90% sure tomorrow is the day. Anyway, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay moist, like, comment, subscribe, all that usual shit, and I'll see you then.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?